Hello and welcome to the Pokematic podcast. I'm your host, Pokematic. I am finally getting around to reviewing Morbius. It's Morbin time. Yeah, so I'll explain why it took me a little while to get around to reviewing this, and then all the other subsequent Sony Spider-Man movies in the end card. But right now, I'm just going to talk about Morbius. So this is quite a movie, and I'm going to also tell the story around the movie. So this is like the second or third movie in the Sony Spider-Man universe, back when Sony decided that they were going to make movies about the villains and turn them into anti-heroes, basically. And they didn't go over very well. I mean, I personally really enjoyed Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage, but a lot of people didn't. But then when Morbius came out, it looked kind of cringe. So when it came out, it was bombing really badly. But there was a giant joke that everyone was saying that Morbius was their favorite movie of the year because he's yelling, "It's Morbin time," and he morbs all over the place. And it was quite a joke for a little while. And then Sony, they ended up re-release after its theatrical run, and people were praising it so much, ironically, and not truthfully. So they decided that they were going to do a special one-week re-release. And that did not go over very well. It bombed even harder. Even fewer people saw it. So then it's one of the few movies I could say that it bombed twice. Because Sony didn't understand the joke. Well, I did eventually see it, and I gotta say that I really enjoyed it. I recently rewatched it. I just rewatched it because I wanted to make sure that I remembered everything, and make sure that it wasn't just that I was like, oh, blown away by the novelty. It's like, no, I watched it and I still very much enjoy it. Because the thing is that this movie, it is both so bad it's good and good. Like, I swear, this movie is both that. So the story is that Michael Morbius has this blood disease that makes him all weak and can't walk well. And apparently there's a lot of children that suffer from this disease because he's at a hospital that is specifically for that, and he gets a roommate or bedmate, or his next door neighbor is a new kid, and they ended up paying it off very well. And Michael Morbius is a genius, and he starts looking into, okay, how can he ends up fixing like this blood meter thing with a ballpoint pen. And then that's how he ends up going off to school in order to become a genius and really hone his skills. And he became the master of the most educated person in blood science. And he invented artificial blood that's blue, that helps people, that can be used in emergency situations for emergency blood transfusions. And his goal is that he's investigating bats in order to find a cure for his blood disease, because apparently there's something in vampire bat saliva that could potentially cure him. And well, what ends up happening is he does a experiment on himself in international waters, and ends up eating the mercs that he hired to do it. And it's him struggling with the fact that he now is basically a vampire and needs to drink blood, but he is strong now. He is powerful. He's no longer weak. And the entire movie is kind of like this mystery. And then, like, his friend, he ends up also getting the serum and changes himself into that. But instead of having, like, morals about it, he goes evil. And the entire movie is kind of like this mystery movie of Morbius trying to A, prove his innocence and not get caught up in it, and B, just monster versus monster. And the thing with both Morbius and Venom is that it kind of seemed like this was the trend that Sony was doing, is that they were going to have the Sony Spider-Man villains fight basically themselves. Someone that's basically them, just like because it was like in the original Venom, it was Venom versus another symbiote, and Venom Let There Be Carnage. It was Venom versus Carnage. Then in Venom The Last Dance, it was Venom versus another symbiote, and now in Morbius, it is Morbius versus another Morbius. They ended up kind of breaking that, but I'll ramble about that later. So what is that it's an interesting enough story. I know a lot of people didn't like it because I want to see Spider-Man in this Spider-Man villain movie, but again, the movie is called Morbius. It's about Morbius. It's not about Spider-Man, so you don't need to have Spider-Man. And that's one of those things where it's like that was like the most annoying critique that I ever heard with the Sony Spider-Man movies, is that, where's Spider-Man? I want Spider-Man. I want pictures of Spider-Man. It's like, okay, Jonah, it's not about Spider-Man. There was never any hints that this was about Spider-Man, so why are you thinking that this is about Spider-Man? I know that there was like a bit of like a lawsuit thing with the original Venom, but it was very much about Venom, and this is very much about Morbius. So it is kind of interesting. What I like about this movie is that it is a lot of the shots and camera angles and directing and lighting and all that, it's pretty good. When Morbius is killing the mercs on the boat, there's like some actual tension, and it's shot and framed very much like a horror movie, and that is pretty cool because it's like, okay, Morbius is a vampire basically. Like he's not like the traditional vampire of Nosferatu and whatnot, but it's like, no, he is a vampire. So to have it like framed and shot like a monster movie, that is pretty cool. That's some pretty good directing and very neat. And then there's a lot of the special effects and fighting. It's like it is pretty neat. It's like how they like the bullet time, that's pretty cool. And Jared Leto, he actually does a decent job if you ask me. I mean, he's not terrible, he's not the worst of them. And then like his best friend, he does pretty good job too. And then one of the good marks of a movie is that I was like halfway through and I'm like, I wonder how much I've only been here for like 10 minutes, and it's like, no, I'm halfway through. Really? Wow. So it's like when that happens, that is a mark of a good movie, is that when you get so invested into it that you forget how fast it's going by. And it also is it has the proper density, because it like covers the origin of Morbius. It covers the origin of his arch enemy. It covers why he's doing this. And it covers the trials and tribulations that he goes through of dealing with this kind of curse that he bestowed upon himself, and him trying to figure it out and learn who he is, but also just like, okay, what brought him to this point, and how did he get to this, to where he's able to be this genius-like guy. And it's all the right amount of density, because it's not like, oh, there's so much that you can't follow, but at the same time, it's like it's not so boring and padded that you're like, oh, you could just get on with it. So, and then like the soft moments are able to be soft, the loud moments are able to be loud, and mixing is very good, and the shots are really good. And this is where, so it's all, that's the good parts. And then now here's the so bad it's good parts, because Morbius, it is just kind of funny how they tried to make him a hero, because it's like when he kills the mercs that were hired in order to get it to do these illegal tests in international waters. When he gets pulled in for questioning, the police commissioner, lead detective guy, he's just like, yeah, he killed 8 mercs. That doesn't ruffle my feathers. They all probably had warrants for their arrest. World's better without them. But what I am concerned about is the nurse that you killed, which he didn't. That was the other guy. But it's like, okay, again, he murdered 8 men in cold blood in international waters under a Pan American flag or whatever. Some sort of thing to say like they're skirting the law. And you just got like, yeah, I don't care about those guys. I don't care about the men that you really did kill because, they all deserved it. So it's like that's funny. And then there's this scene where he is like working with he's taking over these counterfeit labs, and he says, "I'm Venom." It's like that is hilarious. Like that. If you're not laughing at that, you have no sense of humor. Is that it's just like he says it all serious like, and it's just so hilariously bad. And then there's also like the way that they contort his face and how he is turned into the man bat that is Morbius. It's just like the CGI is perfectly awful because it's like Morbius as a character design is one of those things that only really works in illustration and animation. It just does not look right when it's given realistic CGI. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, the mixture of a man and a bat in the face, it's just it's hilariously bad. And then just like some of the things that he does are just hilariously bad. Like I gotta say, like, it is a genuinely enjoyable ride of a movie. I definitely recommend watching it because it is both good and the right kind of bad. Like that's what it is. It is both good and so bad it's good. All right, well, this has been Pokematic signing off, and bye-bye. All right, hey there, everyone. Welcome to the end card. So, as I was saying, I want to talk about the Sony Spider-Man universe because now I'm going to do a bit of a pass. I might end up doing a full pass mortem on it, but it's like this is the Sony Spider-Man universe. So the reason that we got all these villain movies is because Sony had to have a Spider-Man movie in production in order to keep the license, but they weren't able to make a Spider-Man movie because there's currently the whole MCU thing with Tom Holland and like really weird legal rights things going on there. But so it's like they can make the animated movies, which is why we got Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and why we got these villain movies, why we got Morbius and the Venom trilogy and Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter. And a lot of people didn't like them, but I am one of the few people that really did like them. I genuinely enjoyed every single one of them, including Madam Web, which was not good at all. But it was not good in such a fascinating way. As someone who has taken some video production classes, the rules that Madam Web breaks that make it a terrible movie are all done in such a way that it seems like it's pretentious art. Yeah. So it's like I have not had a bad experience with these movies. And the funniest thing is that out of all of the Sony Spider-Man movies, Sony Spider-Man Universe villain movies, Morbius is the one that actually picked up some meme steam, and everyone was making fun of it. And one of the best things is that Jared Leto tweeted out a picture where he had a stack of papers with a title page on it that said, Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. I would really enjoy seeing a Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. And it would be really funny if they did. One of the things is that it's like they could have ended up doing the Super Six with the villains that they were pulling together, because it's like they were all basically the Sinister Six, but they were all sort of heroes. So they'd be like the Super Six, brought together by Madam Web to take down some villain. And the weird thing that Sony did in order to like kind of play into the fact that the movie, like the universes are strangely, oddly, maybe sort of connected, is that the post-credit scene involves Vulture from the MCU, played by Michael Keaton, just showing up in a jail cell in the Morbius universe, and then he flies over as Vulture and meets with Morbius in an undisclosed location with a problem with Spider-Man. And I doubt that we're going to end up getting a movie like that, about that. But hey, whatever. It'd be cool if we got... I really would enjoy Morbius 2, it's Morbin time, but I think after Kraven the Hunter, I don't think we're getting any more. So yeah, as I said, it's like... Or as I maybe have said, I don't remember if this was in the first take, but I ended up not seeing it despite its release and re-release. I got kind of busy around that time, forgot it was out. So then I ended up renting it on Redbox when it was still a thing, and I really enjoyed it. And then when I saw that when I could get the 4K Blu-ray, I got the 4K Blu-ray. Yes, I own Morbius in 4K. And I rewatched it through the digital code that I got with Amazon for Amazon Prime Video. Yeah, interesting thing. So one of the weird things is that it's like I've had like this I don't know if it was like the sort of writer's block or just like this creative block, or just like you can't do this until you do this other thing. You've got to finish this one project. So it's like I now have reviewed Morbius, so now I'm going to upload my review of Morbius. And then I can upload my review of Venom the Last Dance, Madam Web, and Kraven the Hunter. Because all those other movies I was referencing, I said that the recommended video is going to be this in this string of reviews of the Sony Spider-Man universe. And then it's like I never ended up reviewing Morbius, probably because I didn't see it in theaters. And most of the time when I review movies, I am coming home from the theater. But because I ended up renting it on I just ended up never making it. That's like, okay, maybe I reviewed it and just hid the recording. It's like, no, it wasn't on my audio recorders or in my Audacity master files or on my phone. So it's like, where is it? I guess I never reviewed it. So now I actually am reviewing it. Anyway, end card things. Recommended video is going to be Venom Let There Be Carnage. Because that was the previous Sony Spider-Man movie that I reviewed and talked about a whole lot. And even though it's chronologically, fourth dimensionally, when I'm recording these, it's not all in the same time. But when I'm going to be releasing them, it is going to be. And hopefully after I release this one, then I will get past my creative block and upload my reviews of High Potential and write a couple of blogs and do some other things that I've got to do. I've been meaning to do, but I just haven't, because something has been telling me you got to do this other thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. You know the drill. Like, up, vote, buzz, whatever you got to do to show your love. Consider subscribing. Follow me on my socials, my Twitter and my Blue Sky. That way you can see all my past stuff. Or actually, no, that's how you can keep up with everything that I do. And if you want to help support the show, I've written a couple of books. I've made an audio library, and I have Swagbucks affiliates, and I have a Patreon. So all different ways that you could do. Oh, there's also the Subnano, which is a place where you could go to tip me in crypto. So those are all the things. And then there is my blogger website, which has all of my past stuff, including the things that have fallen to link rot, and my blog, which is just separate from that, where it is just all of the things that I do. My different little adventure things. Okay, well, and I'll plug my Twitch just because it's like, hey, follow me on Twitch. I don't stream very often, but, when I do, I have fun. Okay, well, that is it, everyone. I will catch you next time. Bye.